Okay, hopefully you can hear me all okay. Not quite sure how this will go, but we'll give it a go. The last thing we're going to do, the last task rather, is to create a calculator using a graphical user interface or a GUI. So just to see how it runs, I've got it here. So I'm running calc.py, hopefully it'll start up and you'll be able to see it. There it is. So we've got, this is what we want to see. So it doesn't have to look exactly like this, but this is the kind of function that we're after. So there's a welcome button, there's one label, two labels, and then they indicate the two numbers that we're going to do our operation with. And then we've got our four operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. These haven't been stored properly. I've had issues getting, I haven't had issues getting it, but I figure if we just have the addition working, then you'll get the idea. And then this should be a label which has the result. So we're going to see how it works. We have number 1, and we put in number 2. We're going to click on plus, and it puts out 12. That should put out 3, but the maths behind it, I'm pretty confident that you guys will be able to work out how to make the maths work. So that's what we're seeing there. Now I'll click the welcome button, and like it says here, welcome, so it's a welcome message. This is my simple calculator. Enter two numbers or choose your operation to see the result. Choose your operation to see the result. So that's the type of thing that you need to be able to do. So for this, you need to have a button to make the welcome thing work. You need to have a label indicating button number 1, another label indicating number 2, two text fields for the number, the 4 more buttons for different operations, plus, minus, times, and divide, and then another text field for the result. So what we're going to do, I'm going to a series of videos, or not a series of videos, I'm going to show you a series of files that will show you how to do these different things. So there's one will be a file for buttons, file for text fields, file for labels, and so on. So that's what we're going to have a look at now. Okay, so I'll just open this. So here we go. So the first thing we've got is a label. So what I'd like for you to do is, rather than typing this in and then running it, I've got it here. I'll talk you through it and you can see exactly what happens here. So for all of these files, every single one of these graphical user interface files, every single GUI you make, you have to put these things in here. You've got to put from tkinter, import star, import tk message box. And then after that you need this, master equals tk and then in brackets, and then brackets. So what that tells us, so we're making a master widget, which is the overall thing. So everything will then get put into the master widget. As well as those 3 lines, you need to have this line here called main loop at the end. This is what tells our program to run. Without it, it won't run. So looking at this label, what I've got here, I've got a variable called label1, and I'm using that to create something called a label. I am assigning that to the master, and then I am giving that label some text saying this is my label. Then after that, I'm taking the variable label1, I'm doing label1.pack, and what that does, that'll put it onto the master frame. So let's just see how that works. We'll go to the command prompt, and I'll type in just label. Here's already. So it takes a little while to start up because I'm running this thing, and there it is. This is my label. That's what's come up. Okay, now to have a look at buttons. So just button. So once again, I've got these 3 lines at the top, and then I've got this line here. Now, in order to get a button to do something, we have to define a subroutine for that button to tell us what that button needs to do. So I've got a subroutine here called def print something. It's going to print something out, and this is what it's doing. So it's printing something to the screen. So then from there, just like with the label, I've got button. So that's our variable called button1, and I've got button1 is a button, an object of this class button, capital B, and we are assigning that to the master. We are giving it the text, so the label on the button will be print something, and the command, that is what subroutine to run. So it's going to run this subroutine. So when we click it, it's going to run this subroutine which says print something. And then once again we pack the button just like we packed the label. So we do button1.pack to put it onto the GUI. So from there, and then main loop of course so it all runs. So let's see how this thing works. Just button. Okay, so there is print something. I'm going to click on print something, and it prints something to the screen. Every time I click it, it prints it again. So now it would be a good idea if you were to pause this and type in the code for button, run it, so you know what you're doing, and do the same thing for the label as well. So type in this code, so pause it and type this in so that you can have a label and a button working. Type it in as it is. If there's any issues, I'll deal with it when they come up. So pause it, type it in, create your two files, create and test your two files for the label and the button. And when you press play again, I'll move on to how to create the text fields and the message box. So press pause and type in and create. Okay, hopefully you've pressed pause. This is really weird for me because I haven't stopped talking. But the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have a look at this dialogue. So with this, very, very similar. So once again, we've got our 3 lines at the top. We've got our 3 lines at the top. And then we've got def dialog. Now this def dialog, tells us we've got a subroutine called dialog, and this tells us what it's going to do. So we've imported this TK message box. This is TK message box. Now we're saying dot show info. So it's going to tell us, so it's going to show whatever comes up here. So the first thing we're going to have is welcome, and then I've put a comma, and then saying this is the message box. So this will be the little thing that comes up in the top left-hand corner, and this will be the text in the message box or in the dialog box. From there, to invoke it, to make it happen, we need a button as well. So I've called that dialog button. Now I'm saying dialog button is a button. I've assigned it to master. The text, the label associated to the button will be C dialog box. And then the command, what it does, subroutine is dialog, so it executes this subroutine. So, and then we pack the dialog button, and we run the main loop. So let's see how that works. So this one is called a dialog. Here it is. And we've got our GUI here, C dialog box. We click that. There's our welcome. So it is this welcome. Goes there in top left hand corner. This is the message box. This is the message box, and then has the OK button. So that's the type of thing. So that'll help with your with the explanation of what your calculator is. Okay. So once again, pause this, type it in, make it work. And once again, if none of these work, let me know, and we'll deal with it when we get to it. Okay. The last thing that we're going to look at. Okay. Close the dialog box. Close the dialog box. Okay, the last one we're going to have a look at is text fields. So I'll call this one fields. Now this one has a little bit more going on than the previous one. So I'm going to make this bigger just so we can see it all. So this is just how to work with text fields. So once again, we've got the 2 imports, master, and then main loop here at the bottom. Just put a bit of space between that. So what we've got here, we've got a text field. So that's how it creates. So I've got a variable here called text field. It's of the class entry. So that is our that's what we call a text field. It's the source of entry, and we are assigning that to the master widget. This thing over here. From there, what we're going to, because of what it is, what we're going to do, we're going to have 2 subroutines. One of them will print whatever is in the text field. The other one will clear whatever it is in the text field. So to do that, I might just run this first so you get an idea as to what we're looking for here. So we've got a text field. I'm going to type something, and we print into the text field, and it prints it out there. So I'm going to type something else, this, and once again it prints it out to the screen. To clear it, I'm going to click this clear button. So we need a text field, we need a print, we need a clear. Alright, let's watch this in action. So that gives you an idea of what's going on. So to define the print text, so that's our when we press the print text button. So we have contents is text field.get. So whatever we've called the text field, we're going to get the contents of it. So that means whatever is there is now being stored as this variable contents. And then we're saying print contents. So that's what we've got. So that's how we print things out to the screen, to the console. to clear the contents. What I've got another subroutine. I've just called it clear text. Doesn't matter what I call it. I could have called it clear. Doesn't matter. And I'm saying text field dot delete, and then I'm saying where it's deleting from and where it deletes to. So it's going to delete from the 0th position, so that's the very start, all the way to the end. And then we've got our two buttons. So I've got my print button. Button is assigned to master, print text field, command print text. Clear button, master text is clear text field, and the command goes clear text. From there, we pack the text field and the two buttons. Now, there's one thing I forgot to put in, and that is how to set the text. So I'm going to say def set field. Let's see if this works. I'm doing this on the fly, so we'll see how it works. So text field dot insert. I'm going to say at position 0, and we're going to insert something. I'm going to insert my text. We're going to see how that goes. So it's going to insert this at the start, and what we'll do first is we will clear the contents first. Whoops. So we're clearing the contents, and we're setting my field. We're setting the contents to my text. Now I'm going to make a new button. We've got clear, we've got print. We're going to have a set button. That's of class button. We're setting it to the master. The text will be insert my text. And then we're saying command becomes set field. And then we will say set button dot pack. So if it'll work now. So if I'm saving that, I'm going back to the command prompt. I'm running that. Let's see if it works. Okay. So test, it'll print that. We'll clear it, insert my text, inserts my text. Now if I print that, and if I have something, I can print something, and then I'm going to say insert my text. It should clear something and put in my text. So once again, copy this into Notepad, make it work, type it in as it is. If there's any issues, I will deal with it, because you may have to change some of this stuff and some of these names and whatnot. But hopefully it'll all work for you. This is set for Python 2.7. So using all those things, we looked at how to make a button. So we looked at how to make some text fields and how to use them. We looked at how to make a button that prints something. We looked at how to create a label. We looked at how to create a dialog box. And all that is in an effort to make a calculator. So just to show that again. So for this calculator, you're going to need to know how to work buttons, how to work a dialog box, how to create a text field, how to work with that text field. That's right, I'll put those in there so you see something actually happens. And then how to create buttons so that you can work with things, and then how to set a text field. But that's what your task is, and that's it for Python.